After 3 weeks of telling you guys to go out and vote, we saw exciting pictures from around the country of young people like yourself, myself, joining queues to go and exercise their franchise. This is democracy, what was fought for. And it's amazing to see young people enjoying of the dividend. This is who we are, the new generation, with the ability to sway our country in any direction. And when the votes are called, we'll know what direction we took our country this time. This is the New Generation Show. My name is Emmanuel Oscar, and you'll meet my guest in a bit. Welcome back. It's still the New Generation Show, and I'm still Emmanuel Oscar. You get to meet our guest right now. We have Komla. Komla, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Oscar Videdu Komla, a student of the Pentecost University, Accra, where I read ABE, Association of Business Executives, Ep4. I'm from a family of four. I love to have fun, and I'm an extrovert. Thank you.
It'll shock you to find out that Komla and I have the same name and the same birthday. I'm cringed out by it. But I'm not cringed out by Betsy, who we get to meet next. Betsy, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Betsy Malm, a sophomore at Ashesi University, currently studying the course Business Administration. I am an introvert, but yet still outgoing.
Well, Betsy, you sound like a very interesting person. We'll get to find out during the show. Both of you went out to vote today, right?
Yes.
Of course.
What was your experience? Was it your first time voting?
Okay, for me it was, and honestly, I didn't have any expectations, but when I went there and I actually stamped, it was like, wow, I've actually voted. It was something deep. I did not think of it as such.
It must feel good to have a say in who leads us next. Komla, what was your experience at the polling station?
For me, this is my first time of voting, and I had certain feeling about the voting because actually I haven't done that before. But it was cool because everything was planned and everything was in place, and so I had fun, even though I was practicing my civilian responsibility.
Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting to hear. Well, the EC is the only body in Ghana with the responsibility to call the elections. But we know that there are media houses and research houses that project and bring out polls. Bessie, would you say that these polls are a risk to the democracy of the country?
Yes, definitely, because they actually feed news straight into the mouths of civilians. But one thing I always want us to remember is the media houses are biased. They can either represent the Republican Party or Democratic Party, anything of that sort, because after all, they are people too. They have their opinions as well. So it's not everything that we hear on the news that directly informs how the elections are going to take place. You just need to stay calm and vote. Exercise your civilian responsibility.
Komla, how much impact do Ghanaians who do not go to vote have on the elections?
It has a very bad impact on the country at large. The reason is that if you fail to practice your responsibility, that is voting, it affects you. Sometimes some political parties do not have certain policies in their manifestos because they know that when they bring it out, people will not support it. And so if you fail to vote, sometimes you will be forced to live under some policies which will not even help you as a citizen of a country.
With each party required to get at least 50% plus one of the votes to be the winner, how important is it that every Ghanaian went out to vote today?
Wow, it's so important because you don't know what your ballot can change. You don't know how far it will go. Every single legal vote matters. That's one thing that we should always remember.
Komla, during the special voting and even today, we've seen people taking pictures of their ballots and videos of their ballots. Do you think this is encouraged? This should be encouraged.
No, I never support that. The reason is it is actually showing that most of us are corrupt. Yes, it is showing that most of us are corrupt. Why would you portray to the general public that you support a particular party and vote against it during the election? And why would you move to an extent of recording it and putting it out there? It's an insult, and it does not talk good about our country. And so I do not support that.
Well, stick and stay with us and keep supporting. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the New Generation Show. My name is still Emmanuel Oscar. Remember, we are still battling the coronavirus, so wash your hands, sanitize, and social distance. If you feel unwell, call a medical expert right now and get yourself checked. Before the break, we're discussing the importance that everybody went to go and vote, the importance of keeping your vote secret, and now that we are back, we'll be discussing how you handle it, whether your candidate loses or not. Kamla, how would you react if you found out that your candidate won the elections?
I will be super excited. The reason is that it means you are supporting a good cause. The reason for someone to support a political party is that maybe that person has seen something good in such a party, and the manifesto of the party contains everything positive, which can impact positively on the citizens of the country. And so I will be super excited. I think I will even buy a car and dash it out.
Betsy, with so many names on the ballot paper this year, do you really think that the argument a lot of people are making about the election being a two-horse race is true?
Definitely, it is. So far from the way the country has been going for so long a time, we can clearly see that there's a clear line as to how things are done in this country. That is either this party or that party. And I don't think it's really our fault, but because of the political parties that our families support, the political parties that are ethnic group supports, religious affiliation, anything of that sort. So definitely, so far, that's how I've been seeing it. It's a two-party state.
Kamla, you think there's anything as wasting your vote, especially when you vote for a candidate that doesn't win? Because a lot of the time, people say don't go out and waste your vote. What do you think wasting your vote really is?
Yes. The term wasting your vote is very I've heard it numerously. The thing is, there are certain parties you don't have to waste your time to support. Yes. Some parties are not prominent. The reason is that they have low fan base and they have weak manifestos. And so if a person votes for such a party, maybe because of some money they had or a gift they got from the party, it means you are wasting your vote, because by hook or crook, there's no way such a party will come into power. And so the term wasting of votes is very practical. It's very practical.
I want to say something just in connection to what he said. He said something about they have a low fan base, so that's part of the reason why maybe you should not vote for them. But if you don't vote for them to get a high fan base, they'll forever have a low fan base. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kamla, what makes a strong manifesto?
A strong manifesto, in my personal view, having a strong manifesto means you majority of the people in the country support such policies which is contained in your manifesto. For an example, a political party in Ghana implemented free SHS policy, which means that a lot of students will be going to the secondary school for free. This is something beneficial to a whole lot, the general country. And so I don't think if we are supposed to ballot on the number of people who are supposed to vote against free SHS policy, we will get even up to 20%, which means the policy, the manifesto contains strong policy, which means it makes it a strong manifesto.
Okay.
But does just one policy in a manifesto generalize?
Not at all. It is the series of supported policies in a manifesto that makes a manifesto a strong one.
Bessie, do you want to say something on this?
He
point?
said exactly the keyword I wanted to add, the supported. So you need to come up with policies that the people need at that time. The policies that they will support because they need. It's not that you just got up and you saw that, oh, just this town, they need this. You need to look at the entire country and see, oh, in the future, in the next 5 years, this is what they will need. In the next 10 years, I foresee this. I want the country to be like this. That's all part of the things that you should definitely include in your manifesto, a long-term plan.
Do you think that our tribes play a role in who we end up voting for?
It is an undisputed fact that our tribes play an important role in the people we vote for. The reason is that most of our political parties were created by local traditional people. Such people originated from a particular place where they performed marvelously, or they impacted on the society positively. And so the whole town or the people in the town have no reason than to love and vote for such political party. Thank you.
Well, we hope you keep loving us. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Thanks for staying. I know you were very tempted to change the channel, but you stayed with us. That's amazing. We are still here with Komla and Betsy, and we are still discussing the polls. Many people went out to vote today after what has been a very polarizing campaign season. Politicians everywhere have tried to pull you on their sides, causing somewhat of a division within the country. But remember, the elections are up now, and as the votes are being tabulated, it is time for us to unite the country, build bridges where it was broken, and mend the broken cracks. So, Komla, how do you think we can unite our peers after the elections?
I just believe that we have to maintain the same relationship we had even before the election. Being it we lose or we win. I believe we are just one people. And so that factor must be something we have to respect, no matter what happens in the election. And so that is what I think we have to be doing.
That's quite interesting. Betsy, how do we avoid coming across as teasing our friends who, if they end up being on the losing party?
Okay, the one thing I will say is we all know that we are very active on social media. So make sure that you watch the things that you post, the things that you tweet, and the things that you comment. Because anything can go sideways. The person that you trusted so much to win the elections can just end up losing. So make sure that you are extra careful about all these things. And remember that if you were put in such a position, would you be as happy? Would you be comfortable? Would you be glad? And remember that everything you are doing is just for the country. You want to see the development. You want to see the growth. And that's what we are voting for.
Is it our duty to comfort our peers who may have lost out on the election?
For me, I don't think it's our duty. The thing is, we are allowed to make fun of them, but we have to do that wisely. We have to do that wisely without provoking or without causing conflict. They are our peers, and we are to mingle with them. And so it is not our duty to comfort them because they lost the election, because definitely there must be a winner and there must be a loser. And so what we have to do is we have to have fun alongside maintaining peace and unity.
That sounds interesting. Komla. Betsy, how long do you think politicians who lose the election have to concede?
As soon as the election results are released, we are supposed to adhere to it and stick by it because, as we said, it's a democracy system. Anything can happen. Remember, it's the people that are voting, and you need to understand that maybe what you think is best for the country, another person sees it the other way, and collectively, majority see it that way. As simple as that.
That's quite simple. Komla, is there any risk to our democracy if politicians take too long in conceding?
Yes, there is a high risk because these are some of the stuffs or things that leads to conflict. Looking at other countries, the failure of some political parties to accept that they are defeated or they've lost is a major factor which causes conflict, because you feel you are being cheated. You feel you are being cheated. This is also because sometimes during the election or when the results are being announced, they feel they have high votes in a particular region, and people speculate that they are winning already, and at the end they lose. This is very bad. And so I believe that if we don't put in efforts to curb that attitude of not accepting the fact that we are losing elections, it will totally affect our democracy. I think that's what I have to say.
Well, that's interesting. With what risks does social media pose at this point where the votes are being tabulated? Komla, do you want to take that first?
Social media?
Yes. Does it pose any risk at all at the point where the votes are being tabulated?
Oh yeah, it does. It does. I don't know where these kind of people are from, but there are these people who make they produce results. They are not part of the electoral body, but they produce results. For instance, we are in the COVID period, but when COVID was actively on the rise, we could see that when the health organization releases the number of COVID cases, we get extra results from nowhere. You see that they have, if it's 1,000, you see some people giving us millions of people getting the result. And so social media, some people are just there, they are bullying, they are just misbehaving. And so it has a long way to affect the results that we produced after the election.
Betsy, do you want to take a try at the question?
Yes, please. One thing I've realized is there are people that we look up to on social media, they're influencers. So what they say can go a long way into influencing who we vote for and what we do with our votes. So please, the social media influencers, the content creators, make sure that you are presenting valid facts, because so many people, so many youth look up to you.
Who do you think we must hear from first after the votes have been cast? The EC, the ruling party, or the opposition?
The EC. I believe the EC.
EC all the way.
Yes, the EC.
And even before the results are announced, what kind of messages do you think the EC must be putting out at this point?
I believe the EC must put, in as much as they are to announce the winner, I believe they have to release news which will still maintain peace and order in the country. Because I also think that they shouldn't be in a haste to release the results. It should be something like calming the public, releasing news that we are having a peaceful election and we appreciate what is going on, so that we can humbly accept our winner and our loser. Thank you.
That's quite interesting. Betsy, do you want to take a try?
Yes, I want to add something to what he just said. One thing I can also add on is the issue should continuously keep updating the public, not just go silent on us, because with that, everything just goes haywire. People start to think some certain things. Everyone's mental health is out of place. So they should keep on updating us. Oh, this is what is going on here. These are the proceedings, not just go blank and vanish. Because after all, we casted a vote. We expect news from time to time.
That's quite interesting from both of you. Now, to wrap up this segment, when the votes are finally called, who's responsible for uniting the nation? The losing party or the winning party?
I think that's a task that both parties have to take. Obviously, the winning party is the most likely to stand up and speak first. So that'll be the first thing to do. But then the losing party too should concede and encourage their supporters to support not just that party, but believe that it is the best thing for the country, the best way to improve the country, the best way to achieve development, growth, and change.
What's the possibility of chaos just in case the votes go to the Supreme Court?
I think it will cause harm. It will cause great harm. The reason is that we are humans. Even though the courts are the independent bodies who predict or who fight on cases to just write issues, I think there are certain people in the court who also are in one way or the other affiliated to certain political parties. And so if our elections are proceeded to the court, I think it's very bad, because still there will be some sort of hitches inside there.
Betsy, how can we avoid this possibility of conflict?
Possibility of conflict, that's a very detailed question. One thing I can say is social media, and make sure that you cast your vote. You can't stand at the sidelines and say that this election was unfair and was not in the right direction. It did not equally represent the majority of the people if you yourself, you did not cast the vote. Because your vote can go a long way into making a difference. Your ballot can change things that you never thought possible. So watch what you post, what you comment on, and what you tweet, because it really, really does go a long way to start any conflict or unprecedented violence.
That's an amazing answer. It's been a lovely show, guys. Let's put our hands together for yourself. It's been amazing. No matter who you voted for, when the votes are being tabulated this night, you see a reflection of yourself in the score of your candidates, regardless of who wins or who loses. You've made your impact for your chosen party. and your candidate is grateful to you. That's something to be proud about. That's something to wear like an honor. That's a crown to put on your head. So walk with your shoulders high and be proud of the impact you've made today, because it will go a long way to determine the next elections that we have. It's been nice coming your way today, and it's been exciting spending this election day with you. Make it a point to always adhere to safety precautions as we are still fighting against COVID. Komla, Betsy, how would you describe the time you've had on the show today?
It has been a wonderful experience, actually.
I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Yes.
Would you guys want to drop your social media handles?
Okay, so follow me at His Royal Freshness on Instagram, Facebook, and
It's
Twitter.
Royal Freshness. That's a very good handle. Can you say it again one more time, please?
Follow me
Are there any underscores they must remember?
No, not at all. His Royal Freshness, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Betsy, yourself?
At Betsy_Dennise. So BETSY_Dennise on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Well, it's been fun coming your way. I'm sure my guests had as much fun as I did. We've been sponsored by Cheesy Pizza, Nav Car Rentals, Black Secrets Makeup, and Logo Shima Foundation for the amazing space we shoot at. Do remember to follow us at Family Social GH and stick and stay with us. Keep sharing your opinions, because opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. So don't keep yours hidden. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.